Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to episode 38 of my bee breeding guide. In this episode, we are going to be finishing off the bees that add color to the game. We're going to be going through the primary branch here onto what it is used to create the secondary and tertiary branches of bees. First off, the secondary branch adds some additional colors to the mix: amber, azure, turquoise, lime, lavender, slate, and indigo. Now, the bees in this branch are basically just normal, regular bees. They don't have any real tolerances or anything like that, and they are just pretty plain and simple. They have pretty standard life and productivity and all that, but also they have no effects. They are added by extra bees, but they do add one thing, just like the primary branch, that is beneficial to some of your projects, I'm sure. And that is tinted comb, and from that you get tinted honey. Now, the bees in this branch will add the options for orange, light blue, cyan, lime, pink, gray, and purple. They're bred just like the primary bees. Any normal biome will work. They don't like the night. They don't work in the rain, that sort of thing. But off of this branch is the tertiary branch, which only has two bees in it, the Ashen and Fuchsia bees, and they add the light gray and magenta dyes. Now, from the comb, you also will get the beeswax and the honey drops, and they also produce just regular honeycomb. So you can use them for continuing your production of those if you want to focus on these while still getting the additional product. But let's go take a look at them just so you can see what it's like to deal with these guys. The first bee here, well, actually, before I go into that, I guess I should mention I have created this world as a downloadable map, so you guys can do the experimenting and tinkering with the different bees on your own if you so choose. The map is made in the Unleashed mod pack as part of Feed the Beast. Mad pack, wow. And you will need Feed the Beast and the Unleashed mod pack downloaded in order to work with this map, because I have also included things from other mods that are not necessarily related to the bee breeding experience. Like, these are Wrath lamps, and this is clear glass. This is from, I believe, Tinker's Construct, I want to say. But there are a few other little knickknacks that are added, including in the hub, that little book stand, that's from Bibliocraft. And there's just a bunch of other stuff going on. But I digress. Let's get through all these guys here. First off, if you do not know how to do the primary bees, you can either go watch my primary video, or if you have downloaded this map, you can go through this book here and investigate that yourself. But the first bee here we're going to look at is the Amber Bee, and it requires saffron and maroon bees in order to make, and those are both primary bees. And I have some stock here for you to tinker with if you wish. But let's take a look at the actual saffron, or the Amber Bee, and it looks like I got a drone. So I'm going to check the princess here just so I can see how long it took me to breed this. 9 generations. They are less common for breeding than the primary bees, on average, at least per my experience. But let's go ahead and compare this to a purebred one. Actually, that's really close to a purebred. That's nice. And just like any bees, you can stabilize the line after a little bit of additional breeding, so that way you don't have to worry about as much reverting back to a previous species. But let's take a look at typical output you can get from purebred amber bees. First off, you'll notice that you can get 2 drones, and they do spit out this stuff called tinted comb. If you are trying to figure stuff out in NEI, the only tinted comb that you can get from the NEI interface, at least at this point, is the base red tinted comb and the tinted honey. But after breeding them, you will be able to get the correct tinted comb. Now, first off here, I have put in a stack of the amber tinted comb, and you will get the amber tinted honey, which is used for making the orange dye. Now, all of these guys will offer only about 3/4 of a stack each of the regular honey drop and beeswax, so do keep that in mind. And also, for most of my videos, you probably saw that the interior of these rooms is pretty clean and grass-free. However, this one has grass everywhere in it. The reason for this is next door, you can see that silverwood tree there. Over here, I have a different branch. It is the Thomic branch, and some of the bees add flux to the atmosphere, and one of the flux situations makes grass just start appearing everywhere, so try to ignore the grass. But anyway, moving on to the AZURE Bee. It is made by breeding a Prussian and a bleached bee together, and that's the actual princess. Excellent. So let's see how long it took me to get this guy. 4 generations. Oh, well, I'll leave that in there. And that's pretty close to a purebred as well. Looks like these are pretty stable bees. I've not actually looked at the output once I got it, but let's see the typical output here. Once again, 2 drones and a few chances at some honey. That's based on the productivity of the bee. Oh, let's see, the air around you suddenly becomes suffused with strange energy. And that's probably going to mean there's more grass appearing. But anyway, you don't always get the correct tinted comb, so do keep that in mind. But once you do get some, you can run it through the centrifuge and get a stack of the tinted honey. That was the AZURE one. All right, moving on to the turquoise. Nothing new special there. It is Prussian and natural. Natural is the green one, and Prussian's the blue. But let's look at the situation here. 15 generations. Once again, not as easy to breed as the primary ones, but stick to it and you will get it. And likewise, 2 drones and some chances for the honeycomb. There you go. There's some tinted comb there. And once again, the tinted honey is a full stack. All right, moving on to the lime. That's natural and bleached. It's basically the same thing as adding green dye and a bone meal to each other to get the light green color. And there's some stock for you. But let's take a look at this and see how long it took. 24 generations. Once again, not instant gratification there. But it is pretty close to a purebred. That's nice. Alright. Oh, it's nighttime. That's alright. And there's some of that tinted comb. 2 drones. Pretty standard stuff. And there's a stack of the tinted honey. Alright. Next up, the lavender that comes from the maroon and the bleached. So you can get the red and white to make, you guessed it, pink. Let's grab the princess to check the age of the bees. 17 generations. It's pretty standard. It takes a while to get them. Not too far off from a purebred though, but I'll put these in here so you can take a look at them if you so choose. And once again, the output, 2 drones and some chances at the lavender comb, but I didn't get any lavender comb left in there. When I do get one, or when I did get one, I just grabbed it and made a stack so I could toss in the centrifuge here. But moving on to the next one, slate. This is bleached plus ebony. This is pretty much the same thing as just regular gray, but they wanted to be special with the name, so it's called Slate. So let's check out the age here. 3 generations. That was pretty quick. And, oh, I didn't even need to grab the ebony. The slate was the bee. Okay, whatever. Yeah, pretty close. Let's put these in here. And, oops, I'll put that there. And once again, the output. 2 drones and a possible chance at getting some of the comb there. Looks like out of 5, I got 1 of the comb. But here's some of that tinted honey for the slate. A whole stack of that. Pretty standard stuff. Alright, next up is the Indigo Bee. It comes from Maroon and Prussian. Once again, there's some stock for you. And you get the Indigo Bee here. And I'll grab the princess and check the age. That was pretty quick. 2 generations. And pretty close to a purebred. None of those are flashing over to blue as secondary traits. Alright. And that does it for the secondary branch. And there's still 2 bees to go through for the tertiary branch. And they are the Ashen Bee here, which is a slate you got from the secondary branch and a bleached from the primary. And there's some stock for you. And make sure, yeah, that's Ashen. So I'll grab this, and as you can see, it also wasn't instant gratification. But these bees tend to get pretty close to purebreds, it seems. As long as you use purebred parents, seems like you have a pretty high chance of getting the purebred. And anyway, here's the Ashen output. Same as before, 2 drones and some... there's some tinted comb this time. Got 2 in one batch. But there's a stack of the tinted honey for the Ashen Bee. And finally the Fuchsia Bee. And these take 2 of the bees from the secondary branch. The Lavender and the Indigo. Once again, there's some stock for you to work with there. And there's the Fuchsia Bee. So I'll grab the Indigo just to check the age. 1 generation, that's pretty quick. And also pretty close to a purebred. So I will leave these here. And finally go check out the Fuchsia output. Same as before, 2 drones and a chance or maybe more chances at that tinted comb. And there you go, a stack of tinted honey out of a stack of the tinted comb. Now the bees in this branch, or these branches I should say, are not used in creating any new species, but if you want, you can have some other random bee produce special tinted comb if you wish. So they can be used in crossbreeding some hybrids, but as far as making new species, that is the end of the line here, as it were. But that's going to have to be it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this was informative and helpful and in your bee breeding endeavors. I hope you got all the information you needed. However, if you do have any questions or comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below or inbox me. I'll do my best to respond as promptly as possible. Also, if you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, feel free to give me a like. I appreciate that a whole bunch. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my next stuff comes out. But this is where I'm going to have to go ahead and wrap up. So thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.